This is our AP Biology final video project on evolution by Stephen Edwards, Stephen Chang, Matt Martin, Izzy Bolin, and myself. Evolution as a concept cannot be fully grasped until we can understand how life originated on Earth for evolution to act upon. According to the Miller-Urey experiment, the early atmospheric composition consisted of carbon dioxide, water, methane, ammonia, and no oxygen, very little oxygen. These gases, in combination with lightning, could come together to form the first organic compounds, such as amino acids and lipids. These could come together to form the first life on Earth, a cyanobacteria, which is a unicellular prokaryote who performed photosynthesis to generate energy from the sun. These prokaryotes divided via binary fission to produce many cells just like it. Each of these cells produced oxygen, which was then released into the atmosphere, changing the atmospheric composition to be different than it was earlier, before they existed. These cyanobacterium would form together to form stromatolites, which is the first physical evidence of life on Earth present in the fossil record and still living today. The increased oxygen concentration in the atmosphere gave rise to aerobic bacteria, which use the oxygen to create energy in the form of ATP. The aerobic bacteria and the cyanobacteria would come together through endocytosis in the membrane as specialized organelles. The aerobic bacteria would be the mitochondria to produce ATP, and the cyanobacteria would be the chloroplasts to produce energy, glucose, from the sun. This formed the first eukaryotic cell with a nucleus to store genetic information, an endoplasmic reticulum to produce proteins and lipids, a Golgi apparatus to sort and modify, organize these proteins, a vacuole to store water and other components, a lysosome to degrade dead organelles or other cellular components into its more basic forms to be reused, among other organelles in a eukaryote. Some evolutionary benefits of being a eukaryote was that you had increased surface area to perform functions, increased metabolic efficiency as a result, increased genetic diversity, increased complexity and different functions through compartmentalized organelles, and cell colonies in multicellular organisms. So after eukaryotes were formed, life could start being more complex on Earth, starting with aquatic plants and aquatic animals. By 417 million years ago, land was starting to be colonized by plants first, and then followed by marine-like animals. By 66 million years ago, dinosaurs were the dominant creatures on Earth, proliferating. All of these millions of years of evolution led up to this somehow. And the apex of all evolution and these millions of years of change created this final product. Speaking of which,
and we're back to That Nature Show with your host, Safari Steven.
Many questions from the viewers, such as how did we get here? How do we look like what we look like? Well, today we're going to look at how the theory of evolution evolved. The theory of evolution was a mark evolution, where individuals, such as this one, acquire traits such as muscularity, and then pass them on for their offspring. However, this is inherently wrong. As you can see, the offspring is very weak and very fragile in comparison to its buff adult form. Evolution works is through natural selection. Natural selection is based on a few principles. One is that there are more individuals being produced than will survive to maturity. Second is that some individuals are inherently better at surviving than others, and thus can reproduce more often. For example, here you can see a young Matt Martin being chased by a maniac holding a stick. Not that fast. If he were faster, he may outrun the stick and survive. And falls over. Thus,
Eventually, humans influenced natural selection so much that created a new form of selection called artificial selection, where humans decide traits not based on survivorship, but based on what is beneficial to them. For example, I like Matt's hair the most, so I'm gonna kill Steven. He's dead.
Another way natural selection works is not through choosing traits that allow individuals to survive, but by choosing traits that allow individuals to reproduce with other individuals more often than other individuals. For example, as you can see here, this wild sheep and mating allows us to attract certain individuals better than other species. This allows us to reproduce and pass on its traits better than other individuals.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye.